Welcome, Boomers, to the official video introduction of the unique interactive NFT concept delivered by the BoomerSquad, the Boom Rooms. A customizable NFT in a way that not only affects the look of your Boom Room, but also the amount of scratch it will generate. There's still a lot of confusion in regards to the Boom Rooms and exactly how they work. We're going to clear that up and break it down in parts here. The Boom Room ecosystem. This video will touch on the following: the Boom Rooms, the Boom Rooms incoming airdrop, components, combining and upgrading components, cosmetics, and the Boom Room tax. To make sure we're all on the same page, let's start with a list of in-house word definitions that will be useful for the rest of this video. The Boom Rooms are the main generators for our Scratch utility token. They are a customizable NFT that you will be able to decorate and upgrade with components. They will need to be staked to generate Scratch. Components are, in essence, NFT decorations or furniture that you can use to upgrade your Boom Room. There are 10 different categories of components with different properties that can be combined and upgraded together to increase your Boom Room total score. They are the fixed, window, door, bed, and walls. These are in their own specific category and cannot be substituted. The rest of the components are interchangeable: the table, desk, entertainment, couch, pet, activity. We will delve deeper in how these categories work exactly. Properties are the component type. There are 4 property types on a component. An example would be, if you have a fixed window component, it would have a weather, scenery, window trim, and accessory property. Traits are the quality and visual of your component properties. Using the fixed window component example again, a trait of the weather property could be raining. They can be worth 1, 2, or 3 Boom Room points based on the rarity. There are only 3 levels of quality: common, uncommon, and rare. Cosmetics are NFTs which are used for decorating or visual purposes only. They will not affect your Boom Room total score, but will make it look awesome and give it that personal touch. Scratch is the BoomerSquad ecosystem utility token. It is generated via owning and staking a Boom Room. The amount of Scratch generated every block is always the same, but the portion you receive will vary based on your total Boom Room score versus everyone else's. This is a quick recap of what we just went over in visual form. Let's start from the beginning. The Boom Rooms. There are 5 different types of Boom Rooms. In order of quality, they are singles, studios, doubles, lofts, and penthouses. On July 6th, a snapshot was taken of all Boomer holders which locked in their Boom Room airdrop qualification. You will receive only 1 Boom Room per wallet unless you had multiples of 10. For example, if you had 19, you will still only receive 1 penthouse. But if you had 20 boomers at the time, you will receive 2 penthouses. If you had 9 boomers, you will receive a loft only. If you wanted the additional rooms, the boomers had to be moved to a separate wallet. Each room has its own set of component slots, which are the main drivers for your Boom Room score, along with cosmetic slots, which will just be for fun. Each room also has its own multiplier, increasing with the better quality Boom Rooms. The Boom Room mint will go live after the airdrop has been completed. The cost to mint is estimated to be around 250 Cro, but it hasn't been finalized just yet. The listed mint percentages will be fairly close to what they will look like on live. The components are estimated to be about 30 Cro each. Let's dig further into a big part of the Boom Rooms, the components. This is where it can get a bit confusing. Although there are 10 different categories of components, some of them will be interchangeable depending on the slot. We will refer to slots which are not interchangeable as fixed slots, and those which are as free slots. Free means that you can slot them into any non-fixed slot and place them wherever you want in your Boom Room. Once you finish placing them, you will lock it in. If you'd like to move your components around your room again, you will have to re-slot it into your boom room. To explain, all rooms have 4 fixed component slots. They are window, walls, door, and bed. A penthouse, for example, has a total of 9 component slots. The last 5 are free. They can include any of the following: table, pet, activity, desk, entertainment, and couch. You'll also notice that there are more categories and components than slots available. This is intended to allow flexibility. Now that this is out of the way, let's talk about how upgrading your components works. As a review, there are 4 properties on a component. One thing to note is that while a component may be considered a floor component, for example, you may not be able to combine it with another floor component necessarily. It must also match the type of component. For example, a table component combines or upgrades with other table components that have different types of properties. Along the same lines, an entertainment component combines or upgrades with other entertainment components that have different types of properties. A table component and an entertainment component would not be combinable or upgradable even if they have different types of properties. That was a lot of information to take in, but it will make a lot more sense once you can see it visually. Next, we will go over how upgrading or combining your components work. Let's go back to our fixed window example. The fixed window component, like all components, has 4 properties. They are weather, scenery, window trim, and accessory. Minted components will only populate with 1 property slot already filled with a trait. In this example, the first trait in question for our fixed window is mountains in the scenery property. It is a common trait, therefore worth only 1 point. The second fixed window component has the weather property of raining as the trait. It is an uncommon trait, worth 2 points. These 2 components can be combined and upgraded because they are of the same category, a fixed window component. Combining your 2 components will cost you scratch. The first upgrade from level 1 to 2 will be cheaper than 2 to 3 and much cheaper than 3 to 4. The scaling was put in place to restrict how quickly a holder can max out a room, so there isn't a big imbalance at release. In this example, we are upgrading from level 1 to 2. Each component has 1 property and they are a different type from one another. You cannot combine 2 components which have the same type of property, even if the trait in the property is different from the other. This means that our fixed window component will have 2 properties filled after the combination: raining, worth 2 points, and mountains, worth 1 point. Once you slot in that now combined fixed window component, your boom room will gain plus 3 points. The maximum amount of points a boom room can have is a penthouse with 108 points, which is 9 fully upgraded components combined to be worth 12 points each. This does not take into account the score multiplier that comes from the quality of your boom room, such as 5x for the penthouse. Keep in mind that combining your components will also change the visuals or cosmetics of that component in your boom room. If you're looking to decorate and match, you may want to be more selective in your combining. The higher your boom room score, the more scratch your boom room will generate. The amount of scratch generated for our holders every block will always be the same. You are all competing against one another for a greater share of that block. You're doing so by having a higher boom room score than your fellow boomers. We've saved the best for last. Everyone loves them: taxes. The scratch tax works in a very simple way. You must own or hold a boomer at all times in your wallet while your boom room is generating scratch. Otherwise, half of the scratch generated by your boom rooms will be burned. This is to offset the negative pressure on the BoomerSquad ecosystem for those using our boom rooms but not holding any BoomerSquad NFTs. We won't go into the mechanism that detects this, as we do not want to encourage people to try and game the system. But trying to get around it will most likely result in a tax loss of your generated scratch. Your safest bet is to always keep a boomer in your wallet. This about wraps up the basics. Unfortunately, it wasn't possible to demonstrate using the UI just yet, as testing is still isolated to the developers for now. This was meant more as an educational base for the Boom Rooms. We will also be publishing a short 2-minute condensed version once the UI is available to demonstrate. For now, I hope you enjoyed the first official BoomerSquad Boom Room video.